LostLake.com to schedule a visit today.
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 1063.
WUUB Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station. Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios.
The man your man could smell it.
Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking.
But are you a different animal and the same beast?
Streaming live on YouTube.
You're gonna break up with me because of what I do on the radio?
Here's Theo Dorsey.
Initiatives that Major League Baseball pushes to continue to further the mission that Jackie Robinson began in April 15th of 1947 when the man himself, the great 42, Jackie Robinson, broke the color barrier in Major Town. Still kind of is famously known as Dodger Town here, but of course, renaming happened about 6 or 7 years ago, and rightfully so, based on what Jackie Robinson's legacy is, what he meant to this historic franchise, the Dodgers, who are still on top of the baseball world, and of course, what he meant to America and the global game of baseball as a whole. This is annually an exciting day. It is the day that you watch all the players on TV, everybody sporting the number 42. And the one thing that was always a little bit entertaining to me, and now the kids of today will never see, is, well, Mariano Rivera, your guy, your Yankees fan. He was the only one sporting 42 every other day of the year. He's retired. Well, how long has it been since he's been gone? The great closer.
I believe it was 2013.
Yeah.
I might be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure it was right around then.
Semantics. But either way, that was always the fun little trivia fact. He was the one grandfathered in because, of course, 1997, I believe, was the year that Major League Baseball retired 42 across all of its teams. And Rivera still sporting the 42. I love that. Alike Jackie Robinson, man. So, CCAT, we'll get into some more stuff throughout the day. We'll have some guests join us. Of course, later on, we'll have Mike Tannenbaum joining us because we are now 9 days out from the end. Last night was the WNBA draft. This morning, I had to had a conversation with my wife. She saw me. We were watching the WNBA draft last night. By the way, always the ladies that enter the WNBA, they be to the dressed to the nines. You know what I'm saying? Like, they be stepping down on folks. So that's number one. Number two, my wife was like, well, what time does day 2 of the WNBA draft start? I said, baby, there's only one NFL. Yeah. WNBA has a long way to go before they're breaking up coverage between multiple days. In fact, the NBA doesn't even do that. So great to see the young women take their talents to the next level. Of course, we saw Paige Beckers to the Dallas Wings, number 1 overall. We're going to talk about this French like takeover of basketball. I hate to see it because there's like a Wemby 2.0 that just entered the WNBA in the number 2 overall pick, so we'll get to that as well. But it's a glowing time in sports, C-Cat. We're vibing.
Certainly is, man. Like, I think sports is going to slow to a halt when football season's over. There's always something. There's always something that's going to catch your attention and keep your attention, especially here on ESPN West Palm. When we were on a remote about a month ago, where you had a very
taking Shador, closing the door on Shador at number 3 in the NFL draft. I pumped the brakes for several reasons. Number one, Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston to go along with Tommy Cutlets. Nobody's fooling themselves into believing that that is your answer for the future. At the very least, it's the stopgap for a year, and in the best case scenario for multiple seasons, just 2, right? Like, that's not a long-term answer anyway, so that's not a punctuation.
No, that's not going to sell many jerseys this year.
No, it's not going to win many games either. And you are Dayball, head coach of the Giants. If you are Joe Shane, infamous general manager of the New York Giants, not only do you have to show a certain level of competence this year, you have to show promise to your owner and to the fans for the years to come. And the only way to sell hope, the only way to sell some level of we need to stick with these guys because we are heading in the right direction is by getting yourself a future face of the franchise in your building. It can't be a promise of what we can get next year in the draft. It can't be a promise of what we might be able to stumble upon in free agency in the summer of 2026. If you are Brian Daboll and you are Joe Shane and you want to remain employed in the Meadowlands next year this time, you've got to get a guy now. Now, I said before Jamar decided to retain these guys, I never want multiple dudes in pivotal situations, like pivotal positions for me, acting out of desperation. Right?
They're trying to self-preserve.
Yeah,
of course.
Which is it's nice for their families. It's nice for their own careers and their resumes. It's not great if you're a Giants fan or if you're the leadership with the New York Giants and you want to see this franchise return to its glory days of actually competing for Super Bowl championships. So if you are those two guys, which at least as we know right now as it stands, they carry the bulk of the decision-making in the Giants' operations, it makes sense for you to still want to take a stab at a quarterback in this draft, and it makes sense for you to sit at number 3 and tell yourselves, we are going to pick a generational talent here, and then maybe, as we've heard the rumors of Shador Sanders slipping down draft boards throughout the NFL, as mock draft after mock draft keeps coming out and people keep saying how, now I see him going in the 20s to the Steelers. Now I see him potentially not getting picked in the first round. The most, opportunistic in favor of Shador mock drafts these days you see have him going at the highest, number 9 to the New Orleans Saints, which I think is absolutely ludicrous.
You've cooled down on Shador Sanders? It
Yeah.
used to be a cool 2-quarterback draft in that top 10 that can maybe start him immediately and change your franchise. Now it's just Cam Ward, and now you just got to wait for Shador?
It's going to be a wait for Shador for sure, but I believe that works out for the Giants. So here is my master plan for the Giants. I do believe they should be the team that walks away with Shador Sanders after the 2025 NFL Draft. I don't think that they'll do it with the number 3 overall pick. Here it is right here. This is how the beginning of the draft is going to shape out. I'm giving you a peek into the future. And if you are Dayball or Joe Shane, take a listen here because I'm going to fix everything in your life in an instant.
All right, pen, paper,
pen and
they
paper.
need to listen.
Yeah, pen and paper, whatever you want to do. You can record it on your phone. You can put it in your notes. You can even listen to this back later just for inspiration as you go to sleep. Maybe it'll help Jamar, the owner of the Giants, sleep better. Here it is. Number 1 overall, you let the Titans go out and get Cam Ward.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because, well, first and foremost, they position themselves to have the number 1 pick by sucking all year. And secondly, you don't want to trade up future draft capital to try and get the guy who I do believe can be a franchise quarterback for sure, because I don't think ownership of the Giants would let you. They're not letting you trade off future assets that you're not going to be around to see if this thing doesn't work out. So you're not up for number one. That would be ideal. The best quarterback to get would be Cam Ward. Touchable. Number two overall, I'm believing more and more that the Cleveland Browns are going to end up selecting Abdul Carter. I do believe it's a mistake, but I'm not mad at it because if you're the Browns, the plan should be draft Abdul Carter, create this ferocious defensive front on one side, but then also, now that you brought in Joe Flacco, you got Kenny Pickett, you have an atrocious quarterback room, you use a second or a third round pick on a quarterback just to have a guy in the room to maybe instill some hope, but mostly just to compete for a job and see if he can make something shake in the future. You're looking at the draft class of 2026. Because Kevin Stefanski has more job security than Brian Daboll. We heard from Haslam himself, owner of the Browns. He's taking the blame. He's taking accountability for screwing up the most important position in all of team sports. That is giving a heap of picks and assets and a literally unprecedented contract to Deshaun Watson, who the book is closed. It's over.
The experiment was an utter failure.
So they're not going to be a fool of themselves and compound that mistake by reaching at a position that is not one that is going to necessarily take you over the top. They're going to take Abdul Carter, they're going to strengthen the strength, and Abdul is going to be able to learn under Myles Garrett over the next 4 or 5 years. When Garrett retires, you have his heir apparent right there. I absolutely love that for the Cleveland Browns. Now at number 3, if you're the Giants, you're faced with an option. Do you draft a franchise quarterback? At least fingers crossed you would hope. And the fact that the Giants at the combine, but you saw him throw all year for the past 2 years and the year before that at Jackson State, and they need one last meeting, one last workout privately with Shedeur Sanders in Boulder, Colorado on Thursday. To me, that red flags abound on that. Number one, I believe either they're doing that to send a smokescreen to the rest of the league because they do want somebody to maybe trade up to get Shedeur at that spot, or the more sinister portion of me believes that they're going to go with my plan. And that's drafting Travis Hunter at number 3 overall and then finding a spot in the middle to back end of the first round to trade back in and get your hands on Shedeur Sanders. You need to be taking advantage of a market inefficiency right here. You need to, if you're the Giants, take advantage of the fact that for some odd reason, though at the beginning of this process, it was Shedeur and Cam Ward, and everybody had them going 1-2, 2-1. Who knows who's the best candidate for the number 1 overall pick, that now Shedeur is slipping out of the first round of some mocks. Take advantage of his stock going down, trade back up into the first round, get your hands on Shedeur Sanders, and put him in a quarterback room with Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson. You start Wilson, you have Jameis as the backup, and Shedeur is sitting there with a clipboard learning and listening and getting ready to potentially take over on the back end of the first season that you have out there in the Meadowlands. And if you do that for Daboll and Shane, number 1, you have the quarterback for the current that can tread water in Russell Wilson. You have a security blanket just in case. If remember, like last year, Russell Wilson limped into the season with the calf injury. That's why they had to start Justin Fields out there in Pittsburgh. If that happens, we're not going to force Shedeur Sanders into the starting lineup. We're going to actually let Jameis Winston take the bullets and be the starting quarterback for the Giants, and you're still able to slow play Shedeur and not give up your sense of hope, right? Ability to tell the fan base and ownership, hey, in this league. And when you're able to do that, and you have the generational talent that is Travis Hunter on your roster, playing wide receiver, playing corner. Damn it, let him return the kicks as well. The dude's got endurance. He's got heart. He's got guts. He's got a damn Heisman Trophy in his trophy case. This is a surefire plan if you're the Giants. It's for the now. It's for the future. And at the end of the day, you're the team that walks away from this draft saying, we got the one guy that is unlike any other. He's the cream of the crop, the prize of this NFL draft. He's Travis Hunter. How does that not work out for the Giants?
That's taking a lot of trust in who you are projecting to not take a quarterback. Because I see the tail end of the top 10 of this first round of the NFL draft, and I would not think I'm in la-la land seeing them reach for a quarterback. Not that Shedeur Sanders should be a top 10 pick, but like we talk about, drafting for need and not for wants, Like, the New York Jets could use a quarterback. Couldn't they not?
No, I don't. Well, why would they draft a quarterback with a top pick this year? Technically, they could, but you have a prospect quarterback in-house right now that's under contract for the next couple of years. Technically, yes. I don't think they're sold on anybody, so I don't see them taking a stab at a QB.
But again, you're trusting an organization that has proven time and time again to not make the correct decisions.
New leadership.
Oh, yeah?
New leadership. Hey, I told you, I saw Aaron Glenn out there at the breakers for the owners' meetings, floating through the ballroom in his all-white linen gear. I said, this guy's got a little bit of aura. This guy's got presence. This guy's got control of this franchise. He's not worried right now. They're not going to make any poor decisions.
But likewise, those coaches and those GMs will just die at the thought of Shedeur Sanders falling out of their hands when they need a quarterback.
Yeah.
Self-admittedly, they don't have that position figured out yet. They have a bargain bin when they could have had a top draft pick at quarterback. If he pans out with whoever he goes, which you think is the Giants trading with another one of the selections, I don't trust that these general managers will act not at a self-preservation and not looking at 3 or 4 years ahead and not looking at 2025, seeing that they have a previously first-round pick routed. Like, coming into the 2024 college football season, it was kind of anybody's guess who is the top quarterback in this draft.
It was Beck. Nobody had Ward up there. He was projected the 6th round. It was Beck. It was Shedeur. It was Quinn Ewers. Most of those guys fell back. Beck is back in college. Ewers is projected like a 4th or a 5th round pick. Jackson Dart out of Ole Miss, nobody's that hot on. Like, there's not a lot of good options in this draft. And I think that there's been smarter general managers today than of years past. And I know that's not saying a lot because there's been some really idiotic guys in some big positions in the past in the NFL. But I do believe, like remember the Kenny Pickett draft a few years ago? Mm-hmm. When we all looked around and said, okay, none of these quarterbacks are first rounders. In fact, none of these quarterbacks might even be second rounders. This is a terrible draft, an abysmal crop of quarterbacks nobody should reach, but everybody kept on projecting in their mocks quarterbacks going in the top 10, in the top 15, multiple quarterbacks going in the first round. It was only the Steelers at like 24 that picked Kenny Pickett. And we see how that worked out. I think this draft goes that one where Cam number 1 overall and teams show a certain level of patience when trying to get either Shedeur or Milroe or
It seems like a formula that all of these organizations pride themselves on and look forward to that possibility.
But those coaches were always sold on the quarterbacks that they got. Like, we can say that works out left and right, but then I look at the Carolina Panthers and Bryson Young. Bryce Young already has a second coach, right? Like, I look at a team like the you don't want a guy like Kellen Moore tying his career. This is his first head coaching job with the Saints. You tell me your first head coaching job at the number 9 overall pick, you're going to select a quarterback that you're just so on because you want to get a rookie?
I think, but I don't know this is going to happen, but I think there's a lot of chances for that type of situation to happen outside of the Jets when talking about the Raiders, when talking about the Saints. It's a lot of restraint you're asking from these general managers to where this plan for the Giants might not go to plan. It takes a lot of restraint and a lot of who holds that stock is saying, dude, don't sell. Do not sell that stock. Stay in. It's going to go back up. We promise you Bitcoin is the future of finance. And I don't see the Giants getting to 9, 10, 11, and not being afraid.
So here's what I'll say. If you're the Giants, I would rather miss out on Shedeur Sanders, miss out on Travis Hunter.
Okay.
That's where my faith lies if I'm the Giants, if I'm in the decision-making chair. And I'm going to say this. If I miss out on Travis Hunter this year, if he's available at 3 and I pick Shedeur or I go elsewhere with it, and next season for the next 10 years, I likely lose my job over it. If I'm the Giants, and I grab Travis Hunter, and I try to play the patient game to get back into the first round to get Shedeur Sanders, and it doesn't work out, guess what? 2026, we got Arch Manning. We got Nico Iamaleava. We got Drew Aller. We got Lenora Sellers. We got Garrett Nussmeier. We got Cade Culley. We got Carson Beck. We got Carson Beck out of Miami. I mean, I'm a Canes fan. I'm hoping that works out. So, again, I'm just telling you, this is the right play by the Giants. It is a patient play. And if they have the faith of ownership on their side, I do believe being patient, letting Shedeur slip, and coming back and getting him later in the first round is going to be most advantageous versus trying to reach for him and then leaving this draft without the one guy who is unlike any other. This is more of a Travis Hunter thing than this is the anti-Shedeur Sanders. I believe his abilities on both sides of the ball, as he's continued to prove it time after time over the past 4 or 5 years, will continue to ascend. And the one way to help him actually get there even better than just drafting him and throwing him out there is to bring his college quarterback. You know what I'm saying? To bring his best friend, his buddy out there, which was, well, it would work. It would work. They're getting a jersey retired, by the way.
Sure are. We'll talk about that soon.
Wow. We are going to continue this thing rolling out from the Jackie Robinson Training Complex, man. Theoretically speaking, on the road, of course, for Jackie Robinson Day. But baseball not the only show in town. Panthers fans, the playoffs are just around the corner. You should join ESPN West Palm Street Team and Coors Light at Castaways in Jensen Beach for the regular season finale against in-state rival, the Tampa Bay Lightning. Swing on by tonight at 6 o'clock from 6 to 8 p.m. Cheer on your Cats. Enjoy ice-cold $3 Coors, banquets, and, of course, you can score big with giveaways, including a chance at Florida Panthers swag. You must be 21 or older to participate, and Molson Coors reminds you to please drink responsibly. Jackie Robinson, the man, the myth, the legend, the one who we are all honoring today as a collective in sports and specifically in baseball. That's why we're out here in Vero Beach at the Jackie Robinson Celebration Games at Holman Stadium. Gates open at 5. The game starts at 6:42, and it's the Clearwater Thrashers versus the Palm Beach Cardinals. Coming up, we got Rachel Madigraw, Vice President of the Jackie Robinson Training Complex. She's going to pull up and do some work with us here and give us a little bit more insight into the man, the myth himself, how he impacted not just the game of baseball, but culture around America. She is going to be a great voice of wisdom here for you all. So make sure you stick around. That's CCAT. I'm Theo Dorsey. We are Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Calling all sports fans, grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's where you can catch all of the action. Not an MVP? Sign up for free and start earning rewards today. Duffy's is voted the best sports grill year after year with their award-winning burgers and wings. Don't forget about Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. And with over 80 TVs in every location, you'll never miss a minute of the game. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more. Duffy's, our game is always on.
Is your credit on life support? Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach will be hosting a credit clinic at the dealership today and tomorrow. Local bank representatives will be on site to grant special approval to consumers who meet certain minimum criteria. If you have a job bringing home $350 weekly, the credit clinic at Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach wants to approve you so you can drive home your new Kia today. Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach will be hosting a credit clinic at the dealership today and tomorrow. Hello, is this thing on? I repeat, Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach will be hosting a credit clinic at the dealership today and tomorrow. If you have a job bringing home $350 weekly, the credit clinic wants to approve you for a new Kia today. So what are you waiting for? Don't miss the credit clinic today and tomorrow at Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach. Call 800-NEW-KIAs or go online at greenwaykiawestpalmbeach.com.
We want to see you in a Greenway Kia.
Credit affects down payment and approval term.
The Club at Lost Lake, a championship Fazio design golf course in Hope Sound. Golf and social memberships are now available with no waiting list and immediate access. The course and club will see over $10 million in capital improvements and is one of the best private club values in the area. Experience the beauty and challenge of this renowned course for yourself. Enjoy year-round access to exclusive amenities and events. Elevate your game, elevate your experience. Discover the Club at Lost Lake. Visit clublostlake.com to schedule a visit today.
Hi, This is Scott Smith of Smith, Ball, Baez, and Prather, Florida Injury Lawyers. I have said it many times before, and I will continue to say it for many years to come. There is never a good time for a car accident to occur, and most certainly never ever a good time to suffer injuries in any type of an accident. The accident and its overall aftermath will usually cause pain, difficulty, and stress. Florida law allows accident victims to recover compensation for such losses, injuries, and damages. But such recovery is often not obtained easily and can require a lengthy fight with an insurance company. If you've been injured in an accident, call us now. Don't delay. The initial consultation is completely free of charge. The sooner you call us, the sooner we can put our experienced legal team to work for you. Don't hesitate or pause for another minute. Our experience, knowledge, and resources could be working for you just minutes after the call. If you've been injured, the lawyers at Smith, Ball, Baez, and Prather will help. Call us at 500-HELP, 500-HELP. With Smith, Ball, Baez, and Prather, help is just a phone call away. Offices Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that wants to learn more about careers with Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
Here we go.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, Theo Dorsey is Theoretically Speaking. Streaming live on YouTube, here's Theo Dorsey.
All this talk of Travis Hunter, it reminds me, when you think of a guy that has the duality of him, he's an athlete that it's not just receiver and corner that Travis Hunter excels at. The dude was balling at all levels of sport. He was a high school basketball star as well in Georgia, track star, obviously. Kind of reminds me of the fact that a guy like Jackie Robinson, who we celebrate today, four-sport athlete at UCLA, the very first athlete as a Bruin to letter in 4 different sports. The guy was a track star with the broad jump. He was a basketball star. I mean, the dude led the Pac-10 at one point in scoring. He also was one of the more prolific runners in UCLA football history. I mean, Jackie Robinson, if it weren't for just, breaking the color barrier in baseball, he might be known for 10,000 other things. And here to share some of that with us is Rochelle Madrigal, the vice president of the Jackie Robinson Training Complex here in Vero Beach. You've been in this position for 6+ years. And does it feel like every day you learn something new about the Great 42?
Absolutely. There's more and more stories. People got stories for days. People come out of the woodwork that have, either played with them or family members passed down stories after stories, or people that got to see him play here at the Jackie Robinson Training Complex back when it was Dodger Town. So, yeah, really special to be a part of it.
It is absolutely amazing. It is historic grounds that we walk on. A year after he broke the color barrier at Ebbets Field, he broke the color barrier in spring training at what they called at the time Ebbets Field 2, which is where we're at right now, the Jackie Robinson Training Complex. And it's funny when you think of a guy to be that prolific at a sport to mean so much to a generation, and then you hear those stories of what Jackie and his fellow other black players and just the Negro Leagues and then those that integrated into Major League Baseball had to deal with on a day-to-day basis. Like, it kind of breaks your heart. It also makes you – it gives me more like of a feel of admiration for how they were able to do both. You deal with all of that, and you're also one of the best players in the league.
Absolutely. It's incredible what this facility was built for, so that Jackie and other black players had a place where they could play safely and be integrated with their other white teammates. And that was the first spring training home in the South to do that. I mean, kudos to the Dodgers who had that foresight and wanted to give the players an opportunity to play in an environment where they could really, develop their character and the camaraderie and the teamwork that they were looking to achieve. But here in Vero, even when the surrounding community wasn't integrated yet, so pretty cutting edge, vision by the Dodgers.
Absolutely love it. It is the ground in which and the shoulders on which players today still stand on. And speaking of, this isn't just like a one-off. So we're going to talk about what we have here today, right? We got the Jackie Robinson Celebration Game, which is coming back for the first time in 6 years as you all continued and furthered the renovations here at the Jackie Robinson Training Complex. But Rochelle, like, this thing is operating day-to-day basis. What all is happening out here? I see the multiple fields. I see the youth league baseball going on. Like, what is this facility used for?
Absolutely. It's a giant facility. It's a little over 70 acres large, and we manage all of it. All of our employees are MLB employees, and we run everything in-house. We've got, 5 full-size baseball fields, including the stadium. We've got 4 kind of smaller baseball fields and softball fields that we operate, the multi-purpose field. Baseball's our core, softball our number 2, but we do soccer, lacrosse, rugby, you name it. We do it here. We got an indoor training facility we built a few years ago. So, yeah, it's a pretty robust facility.
Now, I see you got this puzzle tattoo on your arm. I always like that when you got one, it's a colored puzzle tattoo. It has it seems like there's a beach in the background here. Can you explain that to me right quick and to the viewing audience, what this tattoo, the symbolism behind it is?
Yeah, this is actually in memory of my parents who had both passed away, and so just a tribute to them.
I absolutely love it. I like when people have the it's more in depth. I've always been scared of the needle. So number one, the courage it took for you to sit there and get it done, but it also is magnificently put. And much love to your parents there.
Thank you.
When you hear from people who actually knew Jackie and who actually played alongside of him or coached with him or anything, when you hear people that actually walk the walk alongside of him, what's the number one thing that they tell you about him that you feel like you didn't learn just by being within Major League Baseball or reading the history books and stuff?
I think the big focus, yes, his athleticism was unmatched in many ways, but it was his character. And so the youth that we serve and the staff that we serve at this complex, the visitors, what we're trying to explain is Jackie was so much more than a baseball player. It was really who he was off the field that separated him from everyone else. His character, we celebrate Jackie's 9 values here, teach our kids teamwork, determination, integrity, all those kind of key traits in life that they're not just learning on the baseball diamond, right, but off the field. And so that's what really, I think, separates Jackie.
Yeah. I think about CK, I mean, you're a huge baseball fan and whatnot, and I think about how this is a guy who he was 28 years old as a rookie. He plays 10 years. He becomes a baseball Hall of Famer or whatnot. He was an MVP 2 years into his major league career. He kind of hopped in there and got going. But, again, your favorite player right now, Aaron Judge.
Of course.
A guy who was a black baseball player, a guy likely inspired by what Jackie Robinson was able to do before him, man. This has to touch you a bit as well.
Of course. Aaron Judge, the new Captain America. He's the captain of the Team USA baseball team, and you got to imagine he wouldn't be in that spot if not for a trailblazer like Jackie Robinson.
Yeah, and they've done it. We've seen it. The one thing that I think about with Jackie is, there have been people that have opened the door in many of sports. There have been people that have broken the color barrier, obviously, in the NHL and NBA and the NFL and whatnot. None whose name resounds as loud as Jackie, and a large part of that is just how good he was, right? One of the greatest second basemen of all time.
Absolutely.
Another thing I think about, Rochelle, today, as we celebrate number 42, and we'll see all of the major leaguers sporting it, and we know what that iconic number means, I started to wonder, are there any other numbers in sports as iconic as the 42? And I think 42 stands alone, right? We can all agree.
I do. The fact that it's in all 30 of our major league ballparks and all these players are wearing it on this day, and there's just no other sport, even on the major scale, that are celebrating a number to this magnitude.
Yes, so 42 stands alone. Under 42 in all the sports, do we all agree it's 23?
I would say it could have been, but the problem is when someone else who might be number 2 or number 1, LeBron James, wore number 23, that muddies the waters.
But
I think it takes away from it.
It might also proliferate what that number is, because when you see 23, though, no matter what sport you're in, no matter where you're at, if you see the number 23 somewhere, you instantly think basketball, and you're going to think either Jordan or LeBron, most likely Jordan, though.
I guess so, but the fact that you're splitting it in half, being generous, you're taking away the answer, Michael Jordan.
Okay, well then here's what I'll say. 42 is the most iconic number in sports. I think 23 is next. Is there any other number, though, between you, Rochelle, and CCAT, that you can think of that you would say that's solidified in third place? Because I honestly can't.
I think just because of the sport being so important with the numbers that you have on your car.
Yeah.
I think Dale Earnhardt wearing number 3. I think that's close.
Okay.
Within that sport, not around the whole world and all the sports. If I ask you what number Dale Earnhardt's car was,
but when I see 3, I think Wade. I think Iverson.
Okay.
That's true. Maybe that's my fault. Rochelle.
Iverson, yep, I can get on board with that. But still, you don't have to be a baseball fan to know 42.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. That's the differentiator.
That's what makes it stand out. Anywhere you are, if you just see 42 on a building, you instantly think, I guess that might have something to do with Jackie Robinson.
Exactly. That street is named 42 Way.
Yeah.
It probably is something there. Rochelle, what's going on today here at the training facility from Jackie Robinson?
Well, this is a big deal for us. This is the annual Jackie Robinson celebration game. We held it for many years, 6 years in a row. The last rendition was in 2019. And since then, we obviously dealt with COVID in 2020. But after that, we've been really investing in improving the facility and been doing some major capital improvements. And now we're ready to bring the game back. And so we're really excited. It should be a really full stadium tonight. And we're going to raise some money for the United Way of Indian River County.
Yeah, I see that you have the United Way partnering with this, and the community obviously is on board in a major way. What does this mean to the people in the surrounding area, as obviously a lot of the activations you do are helping the youth baseball players or teams that utilize the facilities? This means something greater, though, for people that live in this area, right?
Absolutely. We've been continuing to build opportunities for the local community to engage with what we do and invite them kind of back into the stadium that they attended for so many years.
Yeah.
And so this is kind of the culmination of that. Really good opportunity for them to come back, enjoy some of the improvements that we've been doing, and just kind of reminisce in the nostalgia that they were used to for so many years.
When you look around baseball right now, what's your favorite thing about where the sport has kind of grown to? As we've seen many things change. We're seeing the ABS system be toyed with. We saw the bases get smaller. We saw a lot of, what is the thing that to you is like, oh my gosh, that makes this game that much greater?
Well, I sit in the baseball and softball development department up in the commissioner's office, but based here in Vero Beach, which is great. And we're really focused on growing the game at the youth level. And to do that, you really need to appeal to the attention spans and the kind of fast-paced nature and the technology-focused, appetite of the youth. And so I think the game has really caught up to that. I'm so proud of where the sport has come the last few years. I think the pitch clock is probably the best invention we ever had because it just keeps the game moving and it keeps it really exciting. And I think the things that we've done to really help promote the offensive game and so forth has really brought the sport forth quite a bit in the last couple of years.
What I will say is, attending games in person these days, they go by in a blink. And not in a bad way. But sometimes I am like, okay, if I run to the concession stands, I might miss a whole inning, not just like half an inning, not just one at bat. It's kind of crazy how the game is sped up in a good way because the attention spans are obviously shorter, but also it's like, I don't want to leave my seat because I don't want to miss the action.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. It's really added a lot of excitement to the game and some of the new rules and things. I really just think we're appealing to the youth. We've seen the growth of both baseball and softball in the youth space, and we've got more work to do, but the years of investing in that aspect of our sport have really paid off.
Gotta love that, Rochelle. Well, I know that you have a busy day ahead of you. We're trying to get some folks ready for the stadium and whatnot so you can get back to your busy task. Rochelle Madrigal, who is the vice president here at the Jackie Robinson Training Complex, she's going to have it all together for you today. Tonight, doors open at 5. 6:42 is first pitch.
You got it.
Palm Beach Cardinals versus the Clearwater Thrashers.
You bet it.
Looking forward to some good action.
All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate
Thank you, Rochelle. That is Rochelle, and she came through with some fire there, letting us know what's happening around here. So on the other side, we're going to have Mike Tannenbaum join in. We're going to talk some NFL draft. We're going to talk what the heck is going on with Jalen Ramsey and the Miami Dolphins. And, of course, throughout the day, more facts and stats on the great 42 Jackie Robinson. That's CCAT. That's Rochelle. I'm Theo Dorsey. We are Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
ESPN 106.3 is your home for live sports presented by Hard Rock Bet. Home of the Miami Heat, now the new home of Inter Miami. Catch all the games and the biggest matchups throughout the week right here on ESPN 106.3. Hard Rock Bet, it's Florida's official sportsbook. Try Hard Rock Bet now and receive up to $100 back in bonus bets if your first bet does not win. Hard Rock Bet, roll with us. It's offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling, call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Hi, Evan Cohen here with a special message for fans listening to ESPN 106.3 on a smart speaker. If you're not listening to me right now on a smart speaker, just hum to yourself quietly for a second. Hi, smart speaker listeners. Isn't this convenient? All you had to do was say play ESPN 106.3, and bam, here I am. You could have asked for a chicken marsala recipe or gotten the weather in Bangladesh, but you asked your smart speaker to play ESPN 106.3. Way to go! I appreciate you. Okay, everyone else, come back now. Keep listening to ESPN 106.3. Thank you.
What would you do with an extra $700? You can earn up to $700 per year with Boost Checking from Flagler Credit Union. Boost Checking pays 7.0 annual percentage yield on balances up to $10,000. That's up to $700 extra to do what you love. Boost Checking from Flagler Credit Union. Requirements apply to earn the highest dividend rates. Limit one checking account per membership. Dividend rates and annual percentage yield subject to change. Business accounts do not qualify. Insured by NCUA, proud partner of Florida Atlantic University Athletics.
Kaiser University's flagship campus, the 100-acre residential campus at 2600 North Military Trail in West Palm Beach, extends Kaiser University's educational offerings to over 100 degrees within the heart of South Florida. Kaiser University also has an athletic program with 24 national championships, including the 2024 Women's Swimming and Diving Championship and Men's Lacrosse title. Visit KUSeahawks.com for the latest.
Hey, Steph Prince here, General Manager of ESPN West Palm, to tell you about a team that has meant a lot to me and this community for a long time. Bob and the team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning have been helping me stay cool for years, whether at home or in the office. And living in South Florida with 3 kids, I don't know what I'd do without them. Family owned and operated, serving Royal Palm Beach and beyond since 1980. Let the knowledgeable and trained team at Bradley help you with your residential and commercial needs, installation, repair, seasonal maintenance, upgrades of all makes and styles and models of HVAC equipment, and so much more. Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning does things right the first time and makes the process smooth, stress-free, and most importantly, keeps you cool. Give them a call at 561-793-7497. That's 561-793-7497 or bradleyair.com. Any need, big or small, trust the amazing team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning.
Get ready to elevate your driving experience with the all-new 2025 Range Rover Velar P250 Dynamic SE, a stunning blend of luxury, performance, and technology that will make every drive unforgettable. Right now, you can lease the new Velar for just $759 per month for 36 months. Yes, only $759 a month for a luxury SUV that sets new standards on the road. Visit Land Rover Palm Beach today and take advantage of this incredible offer. Terms and conditions apply. See dealer for details.
Here's one golf outing that won't make you feel guilty for being out of the office. Sloan Staffing presents the 5th annual charity golf tournament benefiting the Golden Cub Ambassador Club, an initiative of the Nicholas Children's Healthcare Foundation. Teeing off on Friday, April 25th at Madison Green Country Club in Royal Palm. Sign up your foursome, sponsor a hole, or make a donation today by visiting sloanstaffing.com/giveback. That's sloanstaffing.com/giveback.
It's been a chilly start to the year, but don't let the rising temperatures catch you off guard. Hey, it's Colin Russo, and since 1960, John C. Cassidy Air Conditioning and Plumbing has proudly served Palm Beach County, keeping homes cool and comfortable. Now's the time to upgrade your AC with great financing options. Plus, ask about the Cassidy Care Club, providing year-round peace of mind. Cassidy is part of our local community and supports organizations like the YMCA and the Palm Beach Gardens Youth Athletic Association. Keep cool with Cassidy Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Find out more at CassidyAC.com.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking. Streaming live on YouTube, here's Theo Dorsey.
I want to take some fan interaction on this. I want to get y'all's thoughts. Just the most iconic number in sports outside of 42 and 23. What's the third place to you? Let us know. Hit us up on the Baptist Health Hotline, 888-760-3776. 888-760-3776. Let us know on the Baptist Health Hotline. Of course, there's 42 for Jackie Robinson. There's 23 for either LeBron or Michael Jordan. What's third place? What fits up there on the podium with those two iconic numbers? Let us know on the Baptist Health Hotline, 888-760-3776. Are you experiencing foot and ankle pain and need to see an expert in the field? Baptist Health Orthopedic Care is a team of foot and ankle orthopedic surgeons and specialists who are regarded as leaders in their specialty. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho to learn more today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care combines its resources of experienced physicians and leading-edge treatments and technology to provide advanced orthopedic, foot and ankle, joint replacement, spine, and sports medicine care. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho for more information today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care has offices conveniently located in Palm Beach County through the Florida Keys. Learn more by visiting baptisthealth.net/ortho. Joining us now on the Baptist Health Hotline, our friend, the voice of the front office insiders on ESPN, the former VP of football operations for the Dolphins and GM of the Jets. He's Mike Tannenbaum. And Mike T, We know 42 is the most iconic number in sports. 23 is second place to me, somewhere there behind it. Do you have a third place for us?
What about 33?
Oh, 33 for Kareem. 33 for who else would be in the double threes?
You got Kareem and Larry Bird. So maybe two of the 5 or 6 best players of all time.
I don't know why I couldn't think of that one. So yeah, I guess 33 would be up there with it. And if I saw 33 on the side of a sidewalk or on the side of a building or a billboard, though, I do think you're right. I probably would think Kareem. Maybe if it was in green, I would think Bird. But at the end of the day, still not as high up when you think about the 42 or the 2-3. Mike Tannenbaum, a lot of people are focused on the number 3 spot in the NFL draft, which is 9 days away, as the Giants are going to have another little visit, little private meeting and workout with Shedeur Sanders out in Boulder, Colorado on Thursday. You've been in this position before where you're trying to find a quarterback in the draft. How weird is it to you that the Giants are setting up yet another meeting with Shedeur?
Yeah, I tweeted this out earlier, guys. The fact that they're doing this so late is really odd. One of the things that could be a factor is maybe there's a disagreement in the building on how good he is. And the reason I say it's odd is one of the reasons you want to do these private workouts earlier is sometimes, guys, you come across additional information that asks you more questions, which is totally appropriate. Sometimes you'll have questions about someone's character or security or their ability to learn or whatever it may be. And that's what's fun about the process. You just keep going, keep asking the right questions, doing more research. When you're out of the building 7 days before the draft, that's really, really unusual. One, like I said, you want to be able to bring the prospect in earlier, but secondly, you're looking at a lot of other players, and you're looking at tiebreakers, or you're looking at fourth round wide receiver tiebreak, whatever it may be. There's a lot to do. To be out on the road this late in the process, to me, is very unusual.
Yeah, to me, it's weird. I also I'm wondering, how did we learn about this? Because could this be one of those late smoke screens that the Giants are sending out there where they're trying to get somebody to trade up to 3, potentially to draft Shedeur? Or is it a due diligence thing? Like, I don't know, would they waste their time with a trip just to make other teams interested?
Yeah, the other factor to me, guys, is, does the Saints situation, sort of, like, did they think maybe Shedeur would have been there at 18 or 19 and they could trade back up? And now that Derek Carr may be out for the year, that now it's either 3 or we can't get him. So a lot of questions in my mind.
Micey, if you are in the Giants' position and you are thinking, I don't want to leave this draft having a great amount of regret, and you're sitting there at number 2, Travis Hunter is available and Shedeur Sanders is available, which one of those 2 guys, if you chose the other, do you think would be most likely to leave them with regret if they walk out with? Because to me, I think Travis Hunter is a can't-miss prospect. I think he is one of the most unique talents we've seen in the history of sports. And if he's sitting there at 3, the Giants have got to pull the trigger on him and maybe consider trading back up to get Shedeur, whereas I don't see it as big of a loss. Even if Shedeur becomes like a Pro Bowl quarterback, like you'll move on. You won't really be hurting yourself over missing on that guy.
Yeah, I totally agree. I take Travis Hunter. I think he's once in a generation. We're in an era where players play less, they practice less, and here's a guy that's in world-class shape, world-class competitor, world-class intelligence. Like, to be able to do what he's doing on both sides of the ball is historic. I would do everything I could within reason to get him.
Yeah, all these athletes have played their last football months and months ago. Why is there always so much shifting and moving? Because it feels like we got one of the last data points football-wise a while ago.
Yeah, C-Cat, it's a very fair point. And again, like, if I'm the Giants, I'm out in Boulder, before or after the pro day, and I want as much information as soon as I can. I don't think I've ever heard of a team in the top 5 working out a player this late.
Who does it help? Who does it help job security more to get a rookie quarterback in this draft for the Giants? Would it be Brian Daboll or would it be Joe Shane? Because both of them need to prove competence now, but then also promise for the future. And I do think if they're able to get a Shedeur Sanders or maybe somebody else late in the first or early in the second, they can maybe win a few more games than expected this year with Russell Wilson, and then have the fan base and ownership be confident in them going forward because they have somebody in their locker room? Like, who does that help more, though, between the coach and the GM?
You know, Theo, I've been asked a lot. I think it's always get the best players you can, coach them, show improvement, and let the chips fall where they may. Never really worried about this job security. Like, just go get as many good players as possible. Worry about your team, and everything else takes care of itself.
Former GM of the Jets, Mike Tannenbaum, and ESPN front office insider joining us right here on Theoretically Speaking on Jackie Robinson Day as we join you from Vero Beach's Jackie Robinson Training Complex. Mike T, question. The Dolphins deciding that Jalen Ramsey might be up for sale, does that tell you that they're maybe, like, considering punting on this season? Like, is there going to be a bigger fire sale going on? Or is this just a situation where you have a 30-year-old cornerback who's not happy and you're not contending, so you try to make both sides kind of amicable?
Yeah, I really don't know. Obviously, I think that caught a lot of us by surprise. Maybe we'll learn more in the coming weeks. Maybe he doesn't get traded. But, yeah, that one to me was a little bit out of the blue.
They just before the start of last season, they extend Jalen Ramsey to make him the highest paid corner in the NFL. They extend Tyreek Hill to make him one of the highest paid receivers in the league. Now both of them are seemingly available. Tua Tagovailoa has his house up for sale right now in South Florida, which, again, that's not like a glowing red flag, but it's also not something that would make you confident as a Dolphins fan. Like, what can they do in this draft? What needs do they need to address, in your opinion, that can give Fins fans some semblance of hope?
Probably solidify the lines. I think they're going to go with Patrick Paul at left tackle, but, Armstead's retiring. And Tua's showing he's a good player when he's healthy. And to me, that's always going to be job 1 and 2 in terms of when you have Tua.
Is it too early for you to peek ahead at the next class of quarterbacks? Like, I've been looking at some of the names, like the Arch Mannings, obviously, Nico formerly out of Tennessee, Drew Aller and whatnot. Like, any of those guys, if you were a GM today, like, would they pique your interest to make you stand pat this year and wait on some of the talent for next year?
Yeah, but, you hear about that, but so many variables can happen. You look at the Giants, look like they were going to have the first pick. They win their last game. Then it looked like maybe the Patriots, they win the last game. There's just so many variables you can't control.
Understandable. Mike Tannenbaum joining us here on Theoretically Speaking on Jackie Robinson Day as we celebrate out here in Vero Beach. Mike T, I'll let you go, but on the way out, I got to let you know, I don't know how this didn't cross my mind. Scottie Pippen, another great number 33. What am I doing?
There we go. Three 33s.
Yeah, but I think one of the arguments I had, Mike, in terms of how much a number lives in the sport's mind is if you can go to one number and get one name. I think the number 23 is hurt because it's split between LeBron James and Michael Jordan, and likewise with number 3 with Kareem and Bird and Scottie Pippen.
Yeah.
So is there any merit to my argument there?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but those are 3 really strong numbers, 42, 23, 33. I don't think any other, but hard to push back against that group, guys.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. I agree with you, Mike T, and I appreciate your time. We'll check in with you next week. Happy draft season to you.
All right, guys. Thanks so much. We'll be up in Green Bay this time. A week from tomorrow.
Yep. Oh, right. Great. Yeah. So you'll be on the call for radio or TV or what? Where can we find the Mike T coverage?
Yeah, I'll do the draft for radio and do some other programming on TV around the draft.
Perfect. Looking forward to it. Thanks again. That is Mike Tannenbaum joining us here on Theoretically Speaking. Always brought to you by Eisner Amper. Mike T there bringing in some heat, bringing in some 33 takes, which I do agree with him now that I think about it. I did get a few different hits on Instagram. I got somebody that submitted number 10 as an iconic number.
So many quarterbacks
2.
wear that, right?
Yeah.
You know what? Number 2 and Jeter.
Yeah.
Number 2 and Jeter lives pretty strong because in baseball, the only reason someone wears number 2, if it's for a player, is for Jeter. And he had the whole respect with the number 2 instead of the S in the respect campaign.
Pretty good.
Number 2's got a strong claim in baseball world for being a number that's synonymous with one individual or just kind of recognized.
Also, Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not in Colorado. It can't be anyone else now.
Yeah, I was about to say, retired jersey. We'll talk about that and more. We got the get around. We got the happy hour. It is going down as we see we're surrounded by the number 42 here, obviously, on a day like today. It's a little hot outside. That means it's likely hot inside if you don't have your air conditioning unit tuned up like I do.
Ooh, I wish EDS was just standing in front of me right now. I'm sure they have a portable unit that could blow. It's hot outside.
Yeah, it's hot. It is hot outside here in Vero Beach. It is cold inside of my house, and that's because I am locked in with EDS Air Conditioning and Plumbing. EDSisyes.com. That's the place to go. That's the place to be. If your air or water is not flowing perfectly in your home, EDS is yes, right? It's Palm Beach County's trusted AC and plumbing expert. They'll make sure your air and water flow perfectly so you can relax in comfort. Plus, with flexible financing options, your budget won't stand in between you and the comfort you deserve. I'll never forget the moments before I was with EDS that I had these terrible trauma-inducing incidents of my AC unit failing on me. And this is the time of the year when it starts, C-Cat. Like,
yes.
It's mid-April. Soon it'll be May. And when May hits, you are out of luck if you're not locked in.
Yeah, and they have the preventative care. That's what it's really cool. Because it's better, it's great when you get a problem fixed. It's even better to never have a problem to begin with.
Absolutely. Absolutely. EDSisyes.com. That's where you go to if you want to get in like I did and become a gold plan member. That's what I would suggest. Because you do get 2 check-ins per year, preventative care along with repair, plus you get a percentage off of repair if you do need so. You also have access to the emergency assistance. If something pops up outside of work hours, EDS Air Conditioning and Plumbing, they are always available for you. All you got to do is call today or visit EDSisyes.com because when comfort matters, EDS is yes. CCAT, man, when I look at the many things, again, as we celebrate the great 42 out here at the Jackie Robinson Training Complex in Vero Beach, gracious, very, very glad to be here on hallowed grounds. When I look at the many impacts that Jackie had, it kind of makes me chuckle a bit at how idiotic baseball organizations were back in the 40s. Like, thank God, Blanche Rickey was this smart to jump in on here because Jackie Robinson jumps in, right? 1947. He makes his debut, as we know, April 15th today. He instantly becomes the NL Rookie of the Year. A couple of years after that, he wins an MVP in the NL for the Brooklyn Dodgers. But not just that, it was the influx of black players into Major League Baseball that reinforced why, for some odd reason, like competitiveness was blinded by racism, and when the box got open, it got extremely beneficial for those teams involved that did bolster their rosters. Since Jackie jumped in, right afterwards, there were 150 black ball players that entered the majors in the 5 years following his debut, including himself. 11 of the 14 National League MVPs from 1949 through 1962 were black. So it's not just that teams were bolstering their talent with good players. We're talking about 11 of 14 MVPs from 49 to 62 were black players, who most of them coming over from the Negro Leagues or coming out from college or high school inspired by what Jackie Robinson and others did before them. It's absolutely incredible, and it's a laugh in the face of those who just decided, well, you know, I'm not really worried about winning games. I just got to keep my blacks and whites separated.
Yeah, Shane Gillis has a pretty good a bit on that in terms of integrating football, about how once you start winning ball games, it makes you rethink things
Just remember
a little
the
bit.
Titans. Just remember the Titans. You're like, well, this ain't so bad, is it? It's absolutely incredible. We got Phil in Boynton. Phil is here on Theoretically Speaking on Jackie Robinson Day as we're out here in Vero Beach. And Phil, give us an iconic sports number. We said 42. We said 23. What's another number that stands out above all else?
How about 44? You got Hank Aaron, I believe Jerry West, and Jim Brown.
Yeah, Reggie Jackson in there, too, with the New York Yankees.
Yeah,
44 is a hard
Reggie.
Yeah, I think a sports number where it is just the same number twice is always a good number.
Yeah, it's helpful. It's very it's something about that synonymous, like the alliteration of numbers, if you will. Appreciate the call, Phil. I will say too, Hank Aaron.
When you're growing up, you know, you see these icons and you want that number, you know.
Yeah, they're the very reason why we pick our numbers in Little League, based on the greats of old.
Exactly.
Appreciate the call, Phil, right there on the Baptist Health Hotline. And CCAT, Hank Aaron, another person so inspired by Jackie Robinson. Like he said himself, like, I would not have been in the major leagues had it not been for Jackie. And it's not just about him breaking the color barrier. It's about Hank seeing Jackie and then believing it was possible for him to play.
It's crazy.
Like, imagine that.
The real home run king.
Yeah. Like, come on. That's another guy that had a lot of great days in spring training in our area here in our backyard. Cody is in Jupiter. Cody, welcome to Theoretically Speaking on a Tuesday on a Jackie Robinson Day. Give us your iconic sports number.
I got two numbers. First of all, number 8. You got Earnhardt Jr. You got Kobe Bryant, Alexander Ovechkin. That's a good one. But my personal favorite is number 40. My favorite player of all time is Udonis Haslem. The glue guy does everything.
Is this Evan Cohen? Is this Evan Cohen's burner? Prove to me you're not Evan Cohen. Somehow prove to me this is not him. But thank you for the call.
Well, if 8 was so great, why did Kobe drop it? That's what I don't get.
Well, he had to rebrand. It was a rebrand, and it's 4 times 2, 24, 4 times 2. Cody, thank you for your call at CCAT. Stop inquiring into things we don't want to uncover again.
You know, the fact that the Ovechkin goal king chase was branded as like the Great Chase. That's great. That's good.
Yeah, the Great 8.
Exactly. That works out. The Great One is cool. A spin-off of Wayne Gretzky has the True Great One, and now you have the GR number 8 one with Ovi. 8's a good number.
8's a great number. I remember the Crazy 8s, the shoes that Kobe had. We all wanted them growing up. Those are the T-Max at that time. And then, like he said, I didn't think about Dale Jr. being 8. I thought he was 88.
Well, he started as 8, and then he switched to 88.
Huh. A little NASCAR trivia for you there.
Yeah, see, a problem with being a Yankees fan is, you know, in Monument Park, they've got all those numbers retired. Like, they kind of started that trend, I think, of retiring numbers because you can't get a single
Yankees fan, so pretentious. We started the trend of retiring numbers.
They retired, like, 45 different numbers, and you can't get a single-digit uniform for a New York Yankee. Like, seriously.
Is that why Judge is 99?
Yeah, he ran out of ideas. That's exactly how it works.
They're going to retire his number, right?
They probably are.
They kind of have to.
I mean, especially if he has a couple more seasons like he did the past couple of years. Yeah, they're going to retire 99. But
I wonder if, like, all it takes in the Colorado Buffs uniform is just to, like, win 10 games over 2 years if you're Shedeur Sanders.
You got to have a certain amount of Instagram followers. That's how you get retired as a Colorado Buffalo.
Yeah.
You either got to win a Heisman or have a lot of Instagram following.
Imagine 50 years from now, there's a quarterback coming into Boulder. He wants to sport the number 2. He's like a 5-star commit, and he's like, wait, why can't I have it? I mean, this dude he wasn't even a Heisman finalist.
I still think when college football in the number 2, I still think Johnny Manziel, to be honest.
It is true. 100%.
Like
he owns that.
Yeah, he certainly owns that. He owns like the IP with number 2 and that maroon and Money Manziel.
Cam Newton. Auburn. Yeah. We forget because he switched to 1 with the Panthers.
Exactly. And both numbers look really good on him.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. That guy Cam. He had to be a single-digit number guy because of how big and bulky he was. It looks better with the single-digit.
Sure.
It's kind of like a branding thing.
Someone's going to take 0 and dominate in that. 0 was not able to be a college football number until maybe 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So we haven't had the opportunity to write that story. But someone's going to take that number 0 and just dominate, and no one else is going to want to fill those shoes without being just as good.
I'm trying to think of who, because you're right. You can really, if you're an iconic player, like imagine if Travis Hunter wore 0. Like he could have really taken that thing to another level. He was 12, right?
I think
12.
Yes, he was.
Yeah. He kind of moves like John Morant, too, kind of, ironically. Like, just have a similar athletic frame.
Well, if you want to keep on going with team-specific numbers, Penn State passes down this number 11.
Yeah.
LeVar Arrington wore it. Now LeVar Arrington's son, who committed to Penn State, is wearing number 11.
Right.
Other great players in the same position, Micah Parsons wore 11, and a top 2 pick in the draft this year, Abdul Carter, wore number 11 for the Penn State Nittany Lions.
Calling your shot to the Browns there, huh?
I guess so.
Yeah, I like that. Well, on the other side, we'll talk more NFL draft. We'll talk more iconic numbers. We'll take your calls on that 888-760-3776. And, of course, it's the happy hour from the Jackie Robinson Training Complex in Vero Beach. That's CCAT. I'm Theo Dorsey. We're on the road, theoretically speaking, on ESPN 106.3.
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 106.3.
WUUB Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Calling all sports fans, grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's where you can catch all of the action. Not an MVP? Sign up for free and start earning rewards today. Duffy's is voted the best sports grill year after year with their award-winning burgers and wings. Don't forget about Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. And with over 80 TVs in every location, you'll never miss a minute of the game. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more. Duffy's, our game is always on.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 1063.
As market dynamics change, the quality of service you receive from your accounting firm shouldn't. Anshin Accountants and Advisors take the time to get to know you and your unique circumstances to help resolve complex issues and develop innovative tax and accounting solutions tailored to meet your goals. If you're a high net worth individual or business owner eager for a strategy to maximize tax savings, let Anshin deliver where others can't. Visit anchin.com. Anshin Accountants and Advisors, recalculating what's possible.
Hi, this is Scott Smith with Smith Ball Baez and Prather, Florida Injury Lawyers. We are a Florida civil trial law firm that specializes in the areas of personal injury and wrongful death. Our offices are located in Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie. Our lawyers have litigated thousands of matters at the Palm Beach, Martin, St. Lucie, and Indian River County courthouses. Our lawyers, paralegals, and other numerous members of our legal team live in Palm Beach County and Treasure Coast cities and towns such as West Palm Beach, Port St. Lucie, Lake Worth, Palm Beach Gardens, Palm City, Jupiter, and others just like you and your families. We are a statewide recognized law firm, but it is your community and your families that we live and associate with on a daily basis. Our most satisfying achievement is when we know that our legal power has helped a fellow member of our Palm Beach County and Treasure Coast community secure a fair and just huge result. If you've been injured, the lawyers at Smith Ball Baez and Prather will help. Call us at 500-HELP, 500-HELP. With Smith Ball Baez and Prather, help is just a local phone call away. Offices Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie.
While it's not always possible to see contaminated water coming out of the faucet, the taste is difficult to ignore. And what about plastics and pharmaceuticals now in the water? The team at Culligan is here to help. Culligan offers water testing and reverse osmosis systems designed to filter out those contaminants right at the source. Culligan has been helping the local community with water issues since 1936. Schedule your appointment today at Culligan.com.
Hey, Culligan
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios.
The man your man could smell it.
Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking.
But are you a different animal and the same beast?
Streaming live on YouTube.
You're gonna break up with me because of what I do on the radio?
Here's Theo Dorsey.
Good people. We are back at it again in the happy hour here, closing in on the Jackie Robinson celebration game out here at the Jackie Robinson Training Complex. It is, of course, the day to celebrate 42. What do they say in Major League Baseball now? I know since 97 they have been all wearing 42, and that way they can't tell any of us apart. It's a show of unity. It is a nod to what Jackie Robinson was able to do with the Brooklyn Dodgers decades ago, breaking the color barrier. Not the first black player to play in Major League Baseball, but the first to break the color barrier since the late 1880s. Since folks looked at the brothers with the bats in their hands and said, hey, no grotto. Y'all gotta go start your own league. And by the way, I mean, one of the good things that did come out of that was, I mean, the Negro League Baseball squads that arose, like the Kansas City Monarchs and whatnot. One of my favorite things when I'm able to go back to my home state of Kansas is being able to visit the Negro League Museum and checking out a lot of that stuff. Our guy Mike Rizzo, who's going to be on later, 4 to 6 with Russo and Rizzo. C-Cat, he said when he did his first pitch at Cacti the other day, he tried to emulate the great Satchel Paige on the mound with his erratic pitching form. But again, he did no justice to Satchel because he threw the ball way over his head.
And I got to say that movie 42, which tells does a very good job of telling the story of Jackie Robinson and what he went through. it's a sad movie. A lot of tear-jerking moments, and then obviously it ends in triumph. However, the movie gets more sad when you find out it's Chadwick Boseman who's playing Jackie Robinson. It's like, oh, a whole nother layer to this because, of course, Chadwick Boseman passed away. What was that, like 7 years ago now?
Yeah, when you go back and watch it, that is right. I was about to say, like, at the time, it wasn't sad because Chadwick had a lot more ahead of him. But, yeah, I didn't think about that side of it as well. That was a great movie. So great, in fact, that I don't consider it a baseball movie. When we were talking great, baseball movies about the sport of baseball, 42 never crossed my mind because that's really just one of the great, biopics of all time.
I've cried during 3 movies in my life. Marley and Me, which makes sense. Owen Wilson. Everyone gets a little bit sad about their dogs. Not you, Theo. You think all animals should be living outside, and if one scratched on your door, you punt it into the freeway. That's what you do with animals.
Yeah, we had a cat drop into my house yesterday, but we'll talk about that another time.
Also, a movie that made me cry was Journey to the Center of the Earth. Why? I don't know. I don't know why I cried when young Josh Hutcherson got abducted by a pterodactyl when he was on the journey to the center of the earth. That's a real plot point that happened in that movie. Not the Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson version of it, but one of the earlier ones with the guy who is in The Mummy.
It's fake.
And the third movie.
It's a fictional movie.
It was 42. 42. I cried during 42. I watched it in between two-a-days for football practice. It's in the middle of the summer. It's really hot. You're going through a lot. You're really vulnerable in that moment. And I just shed a couple of tears for Jackie Robinson. What can I say? Sue me.
Yeah, and honestly, it's rightfully so. That was a tear-jerking movie. It was an inspirational movie. It also was a movie that, to me, it highlighted Wendell Smith, the reporter that you saw following around Jackie, who also gets credited for being the one to tip off the Dodgers that this is the guy y'all should choose to break the color barrier. Wendell Smith, who actually just got inducted into the Black Sports Writers Hall of Fame at North Carolina A&T over the weekend. That created by Rob Parker and a lot of the good people. Michael Wilbon was intended for that. He also inducted into the Black Sports Writers Hall of Fame. So some great things, some great points coming out of 42. Today on Jackie Robinson Day, we actually discuss with you, the fans here, what are the iconic numbers in sports? Which one of them rivals the nostalgia, the memories, the specific emotions and pride that 42 does? 42 stands alone. It is the only number in sports where you see that and everybody can come to an agreement no matter what sport you are a fan of. That's Jackie. That's Jack Robinson right there. 23, also iconic, mostly thanks to Michael Jordan and Team Jordan and his branding on top of Nike. You go through the 90s, everybody wants to be like Mike. He was the most electric and magnetic athlete we've had in modern history with the winning and the style of play. Then you have LeBron that compounds on top of that, so 23 is iconic. Mike Tannenbaum earlier gave us 33. We're talking Scottie Pippen. We're talking Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Shaq for a few years, and Larry Bird. That's a huge number in basketball. What number to you? What number to you is the most iconic in sports? We're asking you, the fans here, 888-760-3776, 888-760-3776. Hit us up on the Baptist Health Hotline. We got Larry in Boynton. Larry, you're on Theoretically Speaking. What number is on your mind?
How you doing, guys? Actually, two numbers.
Larry, you're doing good. How about yourself, man?
I'm good, thank you. The first number I have is the number 8. For anybody from Baltimore, we've already got a Hall of Famer, Cal Ripken, and by the time he's done, Lamar Jackson will be retired Hall of Famer with the number 8. Even sued Troy Aikman over the LG8 era, but that's a story for another time. The other number is number 21. For all my Latino friends in the community, Roberto Clemente, 21, will go down in history.
That's true. You'll see the number 21 painted on a lot of buildings, kind of in any Hispanic neighborhood.
Yeah.
Specifically in South Florida because of how alive the baseball culture is there. 21's a good one.
Gotta love
it. On the 21.
Larry and Boynton dropping some heat on us right here. I'm trying to think of some great 21s here. In basketball, not a lot. Wasn't Kevin Garnett? Did he not wear 21 at one point?
It's kind of ringing a bell. Not necessarily.
It's tough. Joel Embiid sported the 21. There's a lot of again, when you think about, if it doesn't hit you immediately, it probably isn't as impactful. Roberto Clemente, maybe he is the sole owner of famous 21.
I've got KG in a 5. That's what I've got for Kevin Garnett.
That's when he went to the Celtics. When he was with the Timberwolves, though.
See, I think for a number to really matter and be synonymous with an athlete, you got to hold the whole time.
So what about Kobe Bryant's 8? Because he just brought up 8 for you got Kobe, you got Dale Earnhardt Jr., you got Ovechkin. Who did he just bring up? Oh, Lamar Jackson.
With number 8, yeah.
Cal Ripken. 8 is up there. 8 might be top 5.
8's really good. 8 is certainly good, and it's a good aesthetically pleasing number, too. It's fun to draw. Everyone's got their own way to do it. And you call it in golf a snowman. You don't want to call it an 8 on your scorecard. You call it a snowman. Saw a couple of those over the weekend.
Tim Duncan. Deion Sanders.
21 for Deion. How about that?
Yeah, and Kevin Garnett when he was with the Timberwolves. I wasn't wrong there. Yeah, 21 is a great one. I do believe that, Roberto Clemente, I didn't know that was a thing in Hispanic neighborhoods around the area. Got to be on the lookout more.
Sure do.
Yeah, got to be on the lookout more.
Want to take a trip?
Let's go ahead and jump on a journey here. And the journey is, we call it the get around.
I get around. What you mean you don't know? Round and round. Check it go. I get around.
The get around is our multi-stop shop for all of the biggest headlines in sports. We take you on a journey. We stop in the land of great headlines and moments and movement. And CCAT, where are we starting off at today?
Our first stop brings us to Chicago, Illinois, because Caleb Williams didn't have the season he envisioned for a rookie year. Had a 5-2 record, but he clearly wasn't the number one problem. Here's what he said to Esquire's Brian O'Keefe. Quote, "When I got home, I got on my bed, I just dropped a few tears. And I was just so beat up mentally, physically, spiritually. This is now a couple times in Caleb Williams' career where he, like I was 10 minutes ago, very vulnerable about tears shed during his career. Do you have any problem with Caleb Williams not putting on a strong face for the world?
No, because I've always said I appreciated when athletes cry. I appreciate when you show emotion. To me, that means you care. What I hate more than anything in this world is people who are lethargic, people who are apathetic. I feel like you are not living if you are not emoting at all, and it's cool for you to wear those emotions on your sleeve as long as it's not impeding anything that you have going on. When Caleb Williams cried in his USC Trojans uniform after a devastating loss, I didn't have any qualms with it. When I think about how Bam Adebayo and De'Aaron Fox were holding each other crying, and I think it was after an Elite Eight game, a loss to Wisconsin in the locker room, I can tell that those are two guys that are going to be the ultimate competitors at the next level. Look at what Luka Doncic just did, right? He comes back to Dallas in his Lakers uniform. He's so overcome with emotions when he's looking at that tribute video that he's literally crying into a towel with his hands, like his face in his hands. And then what does he do? He pulls his belt off and he whips the Mavericks up and down the court with 45 points in a W. Like, you can't tell me crying is bad as long as you back those tears up with their performance. And I do need to see something out of Caleb Williams next year because it wasn't enough in his rookie season.
Where are we going to next, Cade?
Next stop.
We are going to Boulder, Colorado, because we talked a lot about Shedeur Sanders and where he possibly will be drafted, whether it inside the top 10, outside the top 10, maybe the Giants trading all the way up and getting both Travis Hunter in the 3 spot and then Shedeur Sanders sometime after that. But did you see this news out of the University of Colorado, or Colorado University is actually the name of the university? Yeah. Shedeur Sanders, number 2, and Travis Hunter's number 12 will be retired at Colorado's spring game coming up in a couple Saturdays from now.
I wonder, obviously this is a let's compound on the wave right here. Let's get people to come out. We know if we do their jersey retirement at the spring game, that can drive up attendance. As we've seen across college football right now, attendance has been down at spring games and people have been kind of falling out of love with a sport that we once felt was the closest and most cherished thing to our heart. So I get it. I would say it's probably too soon to retire those guys' jerseys.
What did Shedeur Sanders do to get his number retired?
Well, he was Deion's son.
I believe he was 12-11 at quarterback, his quarterback record with the Buffs.
Great completion percentage, though. Have you seen his completion percentage?
I guess I haven't because I didn't have that come front of mind when I thought of Shedeur Sanders.
Led the nation in completion percentage. By the way, also led the nation in complaints and in blaming others for poor play. I do think that he deserves his jersey.
Recognized.
Travis Hunter deserves a jersey retirement. He might even be on statue territory with the fact that he brought a Heisman to Colorado. Shedeur Sanders didn't necessarily do that, but he did help drive the hype around that program alongside his pops. So I think, okay, here's how it's going to go. Deion's going to get a statue eventually. Shedeur gets his jersey retired. Travis Hunter, maybe he doesn't get a statue, he gets like a bust. He's probably statue worthy at Colorado, but he gets a bust, and I think they're not going to want to give him something huge without also rewarding Shedeur.
I guess so. This is almost like a roundabout way of showing appreciation to Deion Sanders. Because it's no mistake that Colorado entrusted this kind of a project to take a Hall of Fame, show-stopping, big not only player but personality, Deion Sanders. Take him from an HBCU where he had success there, but will it be apples to apples? Can you actually equate that to Division I Power 4 success? Colorado was the only school to give him a chance. And he sure as hell proved them right. They're much better positioned now than Colorado was 4 years ago. So this is Colorado saying, thank you, Deion. Here's how we keep you happy by commemorating your son.
I think it was probably part of his extension agreement. I ain't gonna, I'm not capping. He had so much leverage. He could have just left and took a TV job. He could have just left and sat on his hands for a year. They know that if he leaves, that whole thing crumbles. He has so much leverage over Colorado. He gets whatever he wants.
But again, it's another example of Colorado looping those two athletes together because when they
Where's Shiloh, though?
Yeah, Shiloh.
The 21? Is 21 still up for grabs?
Yeah, 21 still up for grabs, Shiloh. There's a reason why Colorado sent out their propaganda to Heisman voters when it was Heisman voting season. It wasn't vote Travis Hunter for Heisman. No, it was Heismen. M-E-N, plural, because they were pushing for both the promises of Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter, looping him in, even though everyone can agree that Travis Hunter was much better at college football than Shedeur Sanders.
It wasn't 1A, 1B. It was 1 and 2.
There we go.
It was A and B. It was Batman and Robin, and Travis Hunter was the Batman to Shedeur's Robin. That is not, again, a knock to the quarterback. That is a nod to the excellence that is Travis Hunter. I do believe he is going to be a generational star in the NFL as well. And I do think that whether it's the Browns or the Giants, hopefully it's the Giants, that draft Travis Hunter, they should trade back into the first round and get his college quarterback. Have the Joe Burrow / Jamar Chase thing go. Have the Jalen Waddle / Tua, the Jalen Hurts / Devonta Smith. C.J. Stroud and Tank Dell didn't play together in college, but that was his guy, and they went and got him. The Titans, I believe, should do the same thing with Cam Ward and Xavier Restrepo, since you can get him with a 4th or a 5th round pick thanks to his slow 40 time. Pair the college quarterback with his number one weapon in college, and I do see a lot of success in that in the NFL, especially with the stock of Shedeur falling. Go ahead and get the guy late first round, man. Who does it hurt? You know? Who does it hurt?
Cade, where are we headed to next on the Get Around?
Next stop.
We're going to the location of the WNBA draft. And where was that? I actually don't know. But Theo, I'm sure you know about it because you were watching the dang thing on TV last night, not watching the latest season of Black Mirror, not watching any Major League Baseball. You were keyed on where the best and the brightest of the college basketball. We're going to the WNBA. We saw Paige Beckers after winning a national championship with the UConn Huskies. We saw she went to Dallas.
The Dallas Wings.
Not the Sting, the Dallas Wings. But what were some other headlines that you pulled out of watching the WNBA draft?
First off, did you see that Russell Westbrook is a fashion designer? He styled Georgia, the guard out of what damn school did Georgia ball for? South Carolina. He styled a player that got drafted last night.
Wow.
So that was something. So he was at the draft kicking it. The biggest thing that's kind of stole the headlines for me was who went number 2 overall after Paige Beckers. Dominique Malunga. All right. She's like the woman version of Wemby. She's 6'6". She can do a drop step dunk in her sleep. And I do believe she's I think she's 18 years old. The youngest player in the WNBA is like 23. She's coming in at 18 because all of the girls stick around college basketball. There was an international flair all throughout the draft last night. It is starting to mirror what we see in the actual NBA draft. It has me worried because the French are freaking coming. Alex Sarr, Victor Wembanyama, what's this guy, Risha Shea out there with the Atlanta Hawks. I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't know what Tony Parker and them were cooking out there. There might be labs. There might be some kind of freaking just people are coming together and creating these generational basketball stars who also happen to be ungodly heights. She's 6'6", and she has like a little bit of a vertical on her. I'm a little bit afraid. She's 18.
Now, you said dunk. Is this like the Brittany Griner thing where when she was new? Okay.
No. I was in high school when Brittany Griner was in high school in Houston. She went to Nimitz High School. I went to Dulles High School. We had the number 2 girl in the nation, Kelsey Bone. She was the number 1 girl in the nation, Brittany Griner. Kelsey was so damn good. I met Pat Summitt. Pat Summitt pulled up, former Tennessee Vols coach, legendary women's coach, pulled up to my cafeteria at one point in high school because she was trying to get Kelsey at one point. All that to say this, as hyped as Brittany Griner was, and Brittany's taller, she ain't had no bounce. She was just tall and long.
Yeah.
And she still is. Her dunks were not very, it wasn't very...
She was genetically gifted. You can say it.
Well, what I'll say is it wasn't like she was getting up off the ground and doing it. She was just dunking the ball. This girl is like dunking it with ease and dunking it off vert, and she's probably only getting better. She's 18 years old. Like there was a women's basketball player that tweeted out, "I pray to God I'm not the first woman to get posterized," and she's not lying. Like there's going to be some bodies that are going to be had, and shout out to I think it was the Connecticut Sun that got her. Who was the number? Oh no, Seattle Storm. So she'll be playing with Breanna Stewart, I believe. No.
Where are we heading to next, Cade, on our last stop of the get around?
Next stop,
San Francisco, because the NBA play-in tournament starts tonight.
Oh, man.
Yes, we begin in Orlando, about an hour up the road from here. We're in Vero Beach. We could throw a stone to Orlando, it feels like, as they take on the Atlanta Hawks at 7:30. But the marquee game of the evening, in my opinion, has got to be the Warriors versus the Grizzlies. It's Golden State. It's Memphis. It's at 10 o'clock. You picked the Golden State Warriors in our championship contender draft yesterday, even though you only had 12 teams to choose from, only 12 teams between the three of us, 4 teams each.
One of our 4 teams was the Warriors, I believe.
So why can the Warriors have a chance, a bigger chance, than some teams who are already in the regular bracket, but they need to still win tonight or tomorrow?
I believe in the Warriors because, number one, if they can win tonight, they'll get at least enough rest before they have to take on a young Rocket squad. I saw what Amen Thompson did to Steph Curry. He held him to 3 points, I believe 1 for 10 from beyond the arc. It was ugly. It was absolutely insane to see Steph get shut down in that way. I believe Steve Kerr and the Warriors find a way to counterbalance that, to get some of that perimeter youth and that length off of Steph Curry and free him up for more scoring if they have a full 7-game playoff series. So again, the Warriors win tonight. They get the 7 seed. They get to take on Ime Udoka's young Rocket squad, which is a feasible win for them. And if they can get out of that 2-7 matchup, the bulk of their work is done, because then they get to play the winner of the 3-6, and they don't have to play the Thunder early on. And if you are the Warriors, I would rather take on the Lakers or the Timberwolves than be faced with the Oklahoma City Thunder in the second round. I don't say, like, I'm not Draymond Green here. I'm not going to profess that they're going to win the championship like he did on TNT foolishly, but I will say the route is there, and it starts tonight. If they lose tonight, I lose all faith in them, though.
Okay, so it is. So even though it's not win or go home tonight, even though they're in a play-in tournament, they are the higher seed, so they play the winner of the 7-8, right?
Yeah, and if they lose, so they're the 7 seed. If they lose to the Grizzlies tonight, then they'll have to play the winner of the 9-10 game.
9-10.
And the issue with that is not that they would lose the 9-10 matchup, it's that you get less rest. And when your best 3 players are all 35 plus, they're all like nearing the retirement home, rest matters at this stage, especially when your next opponent is either the Timberwolves, or excuse me, the Rockets or the Thunder. Because that's another thing. If you lose tonight, your best case scenario, you get a 7-game series with the Thunder. And if you thought the Rockets had length and athleticism on the perimeter, wait till you meet them dudes out there in OKC because they don't play. So, yeah, if you are the Warriors, you must win tonight. If you are the Grizzlies, you hate the Warriors, and you would love nothing else than to ruin their chances at competing this year, despite the fact that the Grizzlies have already punted on this season. And Ja Morant might be, like I said, he might get thrown out by halftime if he finds a new celebration. Like, is it going to be a rocket launcher this time?
You think they'll actually, find a way? Because Ja Morant has gone pushing the limit. Is there anything in the NBA's rules that could actually eject him mid-game for a celebration that isn't clear and obvious taunting?
I don't think so. What I hope they don't do, but what I would do if I was in the commissioner's position, and this is what David Stern would do, I would find something else within the letter of the law to get him on. So you bicker at the ref one time, that's a tech. You do anything out of line outside of your little cutesy celebration, I would tech you up 2 times quickly and get you out of there if that is preceded by one of those goofy-ass grenades into the stands.
That's
or
a cool celebration.
Moves. I love it.
I call it goofy.
So here's the problem. It's fun for us because it's similar like if you're in the grocery store and you see a toddler do something acting out, like he jumps out of the shopping cart, does a front flip and starts yelling. You're like, haha, that was kind of funny.
Exactly. That's a 1% of your day and you can walk along.
Yeah, but imagine being the parent to said toddler. That's what Adam Silver in the league office feels right now is Ja Morant is playing in their face. So I would find another way to punish him within the letter of the law if he continues these theatrics. But to Ja Morant and his camp, please do continue the theatrics. It's very fun. One thing that I can't go without.
What's that?
One thing that I've gotten this year, and it's essential to my life, when you talk about water, when you talk about being a guy who is blessed by the very gift of Culligan, it's that time of the year, man. As things heat up, as it gets hotter outside, not only do you want to make sure your AC is intact, you want to make sure that the water you're drinking is actually nourishing to your body. Hey, Culligan man. Hey, Culligan man. It's not always possible to see contaminated water pouring out of your faucet, but the taste is difficult to ignore. What about the plastics and pharmaceuticals now in your water? The team at Culligan understands this, and they can help remove these toxins, these nasty chemicals right out of your water to make sure that you and your family are drinking safe, you're showering safe, you're washing your clothes with water that is not damaging it. Culligan offers free water testing and reverse osmosis systems designed to filter out contaminants right at the source. Try it today for a new low monthly rate. It's time to get your free water test before the hot summer months really start rolling in, and you definitely don't want that contaminated drinking water. When I got Tim to pull up and show me what my water looked like versus what Culligan water looked like, how mine tastes versus theirs, it wasn't even a decision. I pulled the trigger immediately. So do what I did. Visit Culligan.com. Culligan.com. Just say, hey, Culligan man, schedule your free water test today and make sure you and your family are good and comfortable moving on into the future.
You had something happen to you last night, didn't you?
Oh, my gosh, C-Cat. I mean, sitting on the couch, trying to enjoy the WNBA draft.
As everyone else was.
As we're transitioning from pick 8 to pick 9 in the first round. I'm like, man, who are the LA Sparks going to use to spark that roster, to put a jolt into the energy they have going on there? And out of nowhere, a giant thud in my screened-in courtyard. And here's the thing. It's a screened-in courtyard. Sure, it's outside, but it's really like an inside-outside portion of my house. Nothing can get in there. Everything in there is stable. When you hear a thud, there's a problem.
That's living in Florida. You need to have a lanai. You need to have a screen over your outdoor living because we got some creatures out there.
We do. And that is what I found out because it was intruder alert at the Dorsey complex. There was trouble in paradise last night, and the trouble took forever to get away. I'll tell you what it was that intruded upon my screened-in courtyard, as we like to call it, the Bali Bungalow, again, as seen on Prime Video, Going Home with Tyler Cameron. Very nice courtyard. Love it in there. Hate that it got intruded on last night. I'll tell you what it was, how I eventually got it out, and, again, I'm going to ask y'all's, help. I'm going to need your help on how the heck I can prevent it from happening again. That's C-Cat. I'm Theo Dorsey. We're celebrating live from the Jackie Robinson Training Complex in Vero Beach. It's Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Tired of being sidelined by a sports injury? Get back in the game with Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Whether you're a professional athlete or even a weekend warrior, you can get back to doing what you love with our compassionate orthopedic team. Experience a new level of care and get back to your best. Welcome to being treated like a pro. Make an appointment today at baptisthealth.net/ortho or call 833-556-6764.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike. What's going on? Our show ended hours ago. I'm supposed to be home by now. People are expecting me. Let me out of here. Hey!
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place. For changes big and small. Loud or quiet. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
The sports calendar is heating up, and with ESPN Bet Sportsbook, you can go from checking news and stats to placing bets in just a couple of taps. Stream games, bet live, and get exclusive offers when you link your ESPN account. Right now, you can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code JOEQ to get started today. That's JOEQ, JOEQ. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
As market dynamics change, the quality and service you receive from your accounting firm shouldn't. Partner-owned since 1923, Anshin Accountants and Advisors take the time to get to know you and your unique circumstances to help resolve complex issues and develop innovative tax and accounting solutions tailored to meet your goals. If you're a high net worth individual or business owner eager for a strategy to maximize tax savings, let Anshin deliver value where others can't. Visit ANCHIN.com. Anshin Accountants and Advisors, recalculating what's possible.
ESPN 1063 is your home for live sports presented by Hard Rock Bet. Home of the Miami Heat, now the new home of Inter Miami. Catch all the games and the biggest matchups throughout the week right here on ESPN 1063. Hard Rock Bet, it's Florida's official sports book. Try Hard Rock Bet now and receive up to $100 back in bonus bets if your first bet does not win. Hard Rock Bet, roll with us. It's offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida the wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling, call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Ready to take on any terrain? The all-new 2025 Defender 110 P300S is here. Built for those who crave adventure without compromising on luxury. Lease the powerful 2025 Defender 110 P300S for just $889 per month for 36 months. Whether you're tackling the toughest roads or cruising the city, the Defender is ready for it all. Don't wait. Visit Land Rover Palm Beach today and experience the Defender like never before. Terms and conditions apply. See dealer for details.
While it's not always possible to see contaminated water coming out of the faucet, the taste is difficult to ignore. And what about plastics and pharmaceuticals now in the water? The team at Culligan is here to help. Culligan offers water testing and reverse osmosis systems designed to filter out those contaminants right at the source. Culligan has been helping the local community with water issues since 1936. Schedule your appointment today at Culligan.com.
Hey, Culligan man!
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking. Streaming live on YouTube, here's Theo Dorsey.
I'm not a dramatic person. I really am not.
And this industry kind of wants you to be.
Yeah.
Like you want to be entertaining, you want to be interesting, and that involves heavy drama.
It does. But it's just not. It's not in my nature because I'm very mellowed out. I'm very, very even keeled. I'm stoic.
It wouldn't be authentic if you were constantly dramatic.
Yeah, it wouldn't work for me. But last night, I'm not being dramatic. I actually, for a second there, I feared for my life. And again, this does not happen often. I was with my wife. I'm watching the WNBA draft. I'm having myself a great Monday night. I'm thinking about what our trip to the Vero Beach's very own Jackie Robinson Training Complex will be the next day. I'm prepping for the show. And out of nowhere, again, between picks, as the commissioner, Kathy, was up there on the podium getting ready to deliver one.
You spoke with her before.
I did. I dapped her up, spoke with her at the Cognizant Classics Pro-Am pairing party. In fact,
so you have a deep connection with the WNBA.
Yeah, Kathy Engelberg. That was my first time dapping up a commissioner.
Sorry, G-Ray, I just wanted to say how invested you were in your television at this moment.
Oh, yeah. So I'm looking at a pal. I'm looking at a pal up here, Kathy, who obviously remembers me from that, obviously would. But, again, she's getting ready to announce that Sarah Ashley Barker is getting drafted out of Alabama to go to the Chicago Sky.
That blew up my mock draft, actually.
Yeah. And you got to be more locked in. You got to be more locked in. But again, as I'm sitting there and I'm chilling, out of nowhere, a huge thud. A huge, undeniable thud. Just like that. And it's in my screened-in courtyard. And if you have a screened-in courtyard, like many people, if you have some kind of outdoor area, you know the beauty of it is it keeps all insects out. So you can go step outside while still feeling comfortable enough to eat, drink, and chill inside. It's like the perfect blend of enjoying the weather in the great outdoors without Mother Nature and the icky stuff that happens.
Certainly. Iguanas, other reptiles, you want it outside. You don't want it where you live.
Now, the thing that I've always feared is what happens if something gets in there. Something that I would not want to go in with my own hands and remove. We haven't had an iguana. We've had plenty of lizards, and that's cool. That's easy to get rid of. Last night, after I, scurried over to my screen door to see what the heck had just thudded inside of my screened-in courtyard, it's a big-ass cat. It's a white cat. It's like a white and with some brown spots cat. His tail looked a little bit altered with. It looked a little weird. The cat wasn't nervous or scared. He actually had just came up to my my door, my sliding glass door, so I couldn't open it because he would have ran into my house. But the cat is staring at me. I'm looking at the cat, and I'm thinking, how the hell did you get in my courtyard? And that's when I look up. At the top of my courtyard, I have these screen panels, right? There's 3 of them. They are, bolted in, and oftentimes I'll see cats prancing on top of them or sometimes sleeping on them. And I always get angry because I know that these things have a lot of give to them, and I know that there's always the danger of something like this happening, but I never thought it would. Cats are supposed to be agile.
Certainly. They always fall on their feet.
Yeah.
If you hold a cat 6 feet up and drop him, he will find the feet. If you hold him 3 feet up and drop him, he'll find his feet. They are very, very agile.
But this cat, not agile enough to evade from dropping into my courtyard. So now he's stuck in the courtyard. There's no way for me to let him back through the roof of it because, well, damn it, he could fall through, but it's harder to climb up the side of my screens. I didn't want him doing that anyways because he might rip something up. And I'm stuck in between decisions. It's too late at night for me to call the ASPCA and have them come and collect this cat. Plus, I'm sure they're watching the WNBA draft as well.
You wouldn't want to disturb them.
No.
You've already ruined your night. You don't want to ruin somebody else's.
And then I look over to my wife, who is absolutely enamored. She's taking videos and photos of the cat. She's FaceTiming her mom and her friends to show them that we had a cat drop into our courtyard. And she has the fun idea of posting it to social media and asking people, should we now adopt said cat?
The society against you.
See,
and your wife wants a pet, doesn't she?
She's been begging me for a pet since we knew each other in college. We graduated in 2015. It's been a decade. There's no way that this happens and she doesn't see it as an act of God that we now have a cat.
Right, because, isn't that how the story always goes? You don't get the dog at the opportune time. It just all happens for you. Maybe one follows you home from work one day and sticks around and you feed it once and you end up loving that dog or loving that animal. This is your Disney movie. We talked about Rory McIlroy's Disney movie over the weekend, winning the Masters. This is the Dorsey household cartoon Disney movie about how they met their new pet.
She named it Milky. She immediately named said cat Milky, and that's when I thought, as a man, I'm like, I've lost total control of this situation. I thought I'd be able to just get this thing to scurry away. I thought I'd be able to scare it out, which, by the way, one thing I learned, stray cats, not afraid of the big dog Theo. Not at all.
Oh, yeah.
I barked at it. I yelled at it. I pranced at it. The cat was just staring me in my eyes, even as I walked into the courtyard with it, almost like a mano, David in the Lion's Den action is me versus this huge feline creature. The cat never budged. It never was afraid. All it did was walk back over behind one of my chairs and lay down for a little bit. I've got no dominion over cats.
I don't live in a very high-income neighborhood, so I know the stray cat game. The stray cat game is very familiar to me.
Yeah.
Got a dumpster about maybe 50 feet from my apartment, so they like to chill out there. Oftentimes when I wake up in the morning, I'll walk outside and I'll see a stray cat sleeping on the hood of my car or even under my car or hanging out. You got to be careful because they want to not be stray cats sometimes.
Yeah.
And that cat knew exactly what it was doing. That was a thud from his body weight, not because his unplanned descent into your courtyard area. That cat wants to be a Dorsey.
He wanted to be a Dorsey. He received a first name, not the surname yet, but he did receive a first name from my wife. I don't know. I'm saying he. It could have been a she.
It could be the milkman.
Yeah, it could be the milkman. It could be a milk lady. How do you determine whether or not a cat is a boy or a girl?
I think there's a very biological way to do that.
Yeah?
You got to pick it up to decide.
Really? I didn't want to touch it.
They've got parts, yeah.
Yeah, I guess they do. I would assume they do. With dogs, usually it's easier to tell, right?
That's true. Good point.
Yeah.
I'm acting like you're stupid in this, but I actually wouldn't be able to tell
Right,
either.
right. So, well, we were going to – this is
Especially
a
if
non-binary cat.
He's not going to let you get too close.
No.
And I tell you why this cat wouldn't let you too close. A similar situation happened to me.
Yeah.
Except it was through the front door. A stray cat, senior year of college at my girlfriend's apartment. That's where our dog, who we still have, was still living. Our first dog, Hunter. At the time, he was only a year and a half old, and he loved everything that breathed, whether it was a man, a woman, a child, a dog, or even a cat. So a stray cat, black and white, darts inside. Randomly, middle of the night. We haven't even seen this cat before. Just sprints through once you open the door. And what happened? Well, my dog Hunter goes to say hello. Goes to smell him a little bit. Hey, how are you doing? This is my humble abode. Welcome on in. And what did that good-for-nothing cat do? Scratched his eye.
Oh, no.
Scratched his eye, sprinted upstairs, and hid under my girlfriend's bed.
Absolutely not.
So now, who does my real heartwarming, genuine, just a good human being style dog Hunter do? He hates one thing and one thing only, and that's cats.
Really? So
because
now
of that stray cat, he despises all feline creatures.
Changed everything for him.
Exactly. So stray cats, you might feel bad for them. You might think like it's some sort of the movie Cats or the Broadway special Cats, and you might have something in your heart
Or Lady
for
and
them.
the Tramp, like spaghetti. We could have had a spaghetti moment.
Exactly. They're only out for themselves.
Yeah.
Tell you what, that cat is only using for you, Theo.
That's
He's
what I
only
thought.
using you.
That's what I thought. So I had the bright idea of trying to lure the cat out. So our first attempt to get the cat out of our courtyard was I went around back. I opened up the actual courtyard door because, by the way, instead of dropping in, maybe he could have knocked. Maybe I would have let him in. Freaking
Apart
jerk.
from the window, you
Yeah.
would have responded kindly to
Yeah,
that.
I'd have been like, all right, bud, yeah, you can take a little nap in here if you need to. But no, he wants to drop in, so now I got to get him out. So I open the door, I come back around, and we look online and we say, what do cats like to eat? Bananas. We have bananas. I chop up some bananas. I make a little bowl of water. I put it right near the door, and I walk away. And I wait 10 minutes, 20 minutes. 30 minutes goes by. The WNBA draft is done. I'm getting ready to go to sleep. I walk outside. The damn cat is still just sitting there in my courtyard, just chilling. No motion towards the bananas. Didn't go and lap it a little water out of the bowl. I wasn't going to give him any milk. I mean, that's hard-earned milk. Milk is getting more expensive these days. Like, what? So what am I to do now?
I think he just is territorial, and that's his courtyard, no?
Absolutely not.
No longer the Botley Bungalow from the
Yeah.
Dorseys. It is Milky's warehouse. I don't know.
So at that
Something starts
point,
with an M.
yeah, I was like, Milky's Mansion. Milky's Mansion.
There you go.
At that point, though, I got into the situation where I had to decide. I had to convince my wife. She wanted us to keep it overnight and then decide in the morning. I had to convince her, no, we get him out tonight. So then
this ends now.
Yeah, like I don't want to wake up to whatever the hell is going on in my courtyard after this. So then I decide I'm gonna sit in the courtyard with the cat, allowing it to know it will not be able to restlessly stand in here, and it's just going to be its little dominion. I'm going to make sure he knows that I own this courtyard.
You punked him.
I punked him. I eventually outlasted him, took a book out there, and I sat there and I chilled. I got on the phone at one point, and eventually the cat itself scurried out of my courtyard, climbing up the door and through the roof, breaking another one of my actual screens on the roof of my screened-in patio. So here's the question, because Milky the cat, he stays and hovers around our neighborhood. This is not my last run-in with Milky the cat.
No, he knows what it smells like in there now.
Yeah. And he's going to return most likely because he probably didn't like losing that standoff.
And he knows you got bananas.
And we do have bananas. He did not partake in the bananas, but he knows bananas are on the menu. Do we, number one, keep the cat next time it barges upon our courtyard? And also, do you know a good screen repair guy that can close up my damn roof of my screened-in courtyard now that Milky the cat is out here ruining things and opening it up to nature? Help a brother out. 888-760-3776. 888-760-3776. I have a catastrophe on my hands. Do I keep Milky the cat next time he pulls up? And also, can you recommend to me a good screen repair guy to come and seal up the Bali Bungalow? Hit us up on the Baptist Health Hotline, 888-760-3776. Is joint pain affecting your quality of life? At Baptist Health Orthopedic Care, our team is experienced in traditional joint replacement surgery as well as new, less invasive treatments with the goal of returning you to what you love as quickly as possible. Learn more by visiting baptisthealth.net/ortho today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care combines its resources of experienced physicians and leading-edge treatments and technology to provide advanced orthopedic, foot and ankle, joint replacement, spine, and sports medicine care. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho for more information today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care has offices conveniently located in Palm Beach County through the Florida Keys. Learn more by visiting baptisthealth.net/ortho. It's Jackie Robinson Day. It's Theoretically Speaking. It is a celebration out here at the Jackie Robinson Complex for Training in Vero Beach. That's CCAT. I'm Theo Dorsey with Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Good people. It's Theo Dorsey.
May the force be with you.
Roger Dean Chevrolet Stadium is hosting Star Wars Night on Saturday, April 26th at 6 p.m. Come see the Jupiter Hammerheads and Palm Beach Cardinals face off in a galaxy not too far away. Take pictures with your favorite movie characters and enjoy the fireworks after the game. To purchase tickets and to find out more information, stop by the ticket office or visit RogerDeanChevroletStadium.com.
For 48 straight years, Ford F-Series have been the best-selling trucks in America. We got here by engineering breakthrough technology, redefining Built Ford Tough, and never settling for second best. But what's really made Ford F-Series the #1 selling trucks in America is you. Ford F-Series, Built Ford Tough. Based on 1977 to 2024 calendar year total sales.
Hi, I'm Scott Smith with Smith Ball, Baez, and Prather, Florida Injury Lawyers.